the Seat Ibiza Cupra, 190 horsepower on 1,200 kilograms. That is today on Autogefühl, your #1 resource for in-depth car reviews and your #1 community to discuss cars with Thomas. It's the facelifted version. We have already shown you the normal Ibiza version facelift quite recently. You can check out that review later on in the video description, it will be linked. This one here is all about the sports version in the exterior, interior and of course the driving experience, and I can promise you we will have a lot of fun together. And also this one here in some situations is faster than the Porsche. I will explain you why. Let's now go in Autogefühl with full HD, full screen and full length. In the facelift, the headlights have been changed just a little bit. In general, they have a very dynamic form, and this is also the differentiation to other small performance cars. This one here is probably one of the most dramatic front outlines. The Cupra version, if you compare it to the normal versions, has a stronger lower part with bigger air intakes right here, and of course the Cupra logo. And the nice thing is, everything we'll see today, exterior and interior, is included in this Cupra version. Well, you pay double the price than the normal entry price, but then you kind of have nothing extra anymore. So everything we'll explain right now is included in the Cupra package. 4.05 meters is the total length of this small car in this small car segment, but there's a lot of performance in there, I can promise you. What you can see here in the Cupra package, we have 17-inch alloys. You can pick them here in black or also in silver if you like. Interesting is that the design line is a very dramatic one here, and it's fading out and then beginning here again at the upper part. This one here is the special thing about the Cupra version, definitely. And also, if we continue to the rear, we got quite dynamic forms, more appealing to a younger audience. And the good city parking feature is that you can flip in the mirrors electronically, and you see, wow, haven't seen such a system lately. It really likes maximum flipping in, so it's almost in line to the car now. Now to the rear of this 3-door version. There's no 5-door or estate version yet, and I'm also not sure if this one will come. Maybe, I don't know. Window is very flat, you can see it right here, and the headlights have this round shape here, but the more dramatic part is quite way lower. Not Ibiza's, but directly Cupra saying here. This is the change. The hatch you can open right here, also with the Seat logo. And a massive diffuser for such a small car. Central exhaust, but it's not that one. This is just for styling. The real exhaust are those two inside there, if you look at that closely. Welcome inside. This is the key here. Flipping out. And solid sound even with a small car. I like that. And then inside, basically you get everything you need with the Cupra equipment. You start with cloth seats. They are already in a special racing form. This one then is the Alcantara package. You can pick that optionally with Alcantara microfiber on the inside. See it here. Hello. And this one here is then fake leather or leatherette or faux leather, how you want to call it, on the outside. As I said, always with every car. This is the perfect mix. Microfiber inside, faux leather on the outside, and I think it's just 304 euros extra here. Perfect as for the surfaces. The seats are in general also quite good, but not just very good for very tall drivers. I'll take a seat on that quite soon. Weaknesses, as with every Volkswagen, also the older ones, this one hasn't changed here, for example. And we had that, for example, on the very old Volkswagen Lupo, where this part here just came off after a while. And also the lower part, this one here, the lever, that tends also to get a little bit loose over times. And you can pump it up or down, and the good thing about this, it doesn't require, even getting it up, doesn't require much strength. That's good. Then if we move up, you got the special Cupra steering wheel, flattened end and great size, and also a great grip. And more sporty elements. We'll take a detailed look quite soon, but you kind of got everything with the equipment already, GPS and AC and everything you need. Nice details, for example here at the inside, well, kind of the counterpart of the inside of the door, Ibiza stamped on here. I like those emotional details. I won't need seat heating here today, but it's also included in the series equipment, and that's a really good thing because we have a lot of sports versions on the market that are double the price of the vehicle, which is the case here as well. Double the price than the normal one, 12,000 normal one in Germany, for example, 24 this one here. But here, really, everything is already included. You hardly need anything extra. I really like that. Seats here, in general, really comfortable, and the best surface that you don't sweat in summer and it's not cold in winter times. But, you know, me as 1.86 meters, I still have enough headspace, but the seat itself, you see, I'm a little bit too tall for the seat. If you're below 180, I think the seat will be perfect for you, however. Good sporty position. I will say we can dig into some details of the interior. Storage spaces at the inside of the doors. It's a little bit kind of a cage. It's not too easy to put bigger bottles in there. And if we move into the middle part, very interesting by the way that this middle console part is softened up. It's not hard plastic. Very well done. I like that visually and also haptically. Glove box is sliding down. I've put all of the stuff in here, you see, but that does fit a lot of stuff in here, definitely. Then in the middle part there are beverages holders. They're not too practical because as soon as the bottles get a little bit higher, it's hard to fit them in and out there. This is here an ashtray, but of course don't smoke in the car. 12-volt power supply is hidden here, as well as a USB connection and an aux in, and some more space right here. And a practical middle armrest, again with leather bread on the top. Seat always has that, it's good. You can adjust it in height and also put it lower again, and there's also some more space in the middle part. Not every small car has a middle armrest. Instruments, what is great that they are illuminated. It's very bright now so you can't see it, but even you know, when it's just a little bit dark in the basement garage, especially the white arrows are illuminated in white, and that is a great effect. Then also this nice effect when you start the ignition, and right side speed, Cupra logo, left side RPM, and in the middle one, for example, the digital speedometer, or also you can check consumption, which is here at about 8 liters on 100 kilometers. Well, quite much for a small car, but you also have performance. Then you can also check the GPS information, some compass normal, or there will also be some information if you have a route running. Also a lap timer is available here when you go to the Nürburgring with that one. Definitely funny to have that in a small car, or Bluetooth phone audio information you also got there. Left side of the steering wheel, control your volume and also pick up the phone. And on the right side, all the things I've just done to the small digital display in the middle, switching the stuff and pressing the OK button. In the steering wheel itself, you can loosen a lever. That's a very good system. Put it up and down and more to the front or more towards you. Usually put it way towards you that you're very close to the steering wheel and can also have good reactions. With the Ibiza Facelift, you get a bigger screen for the climate control, and you also got that from Siri in the Cupra version. Here you can check the temperature, also from a good quality, all the buttons, put higher or lower, AC on and off. And going lower, park distance control, which is included in here, and also the sport mode. And then you can really have a good sound and stiffer suspension. I will explain all of these details when we drive the car. The multimedia screen, you see it's a little bit turned to the driver, a little bit of a driver focus, and this is a proximity sensor at the lower part that when you get close to it, magic, here all the buttons appear. You have standard buttons around here, shortcuts for media, radio, phone, GPS and stuff, and then you can set the different buttons here as well for the GPS, for example, and the responsiveness has been topped up. For example, also if you put in a new goal, new destinations, for example, let's say I want to go to Berlin, for example. There's some loading, but then look at the speed here, BERLIN, Berlin. That is really good and definitely better than in the versions before. You can also check traffic information here. That's also a good thing, on which German Autobahn there's something going on. You see that's going on the German Autobahns, always traffic and stuff. And you can connect your phone with Bluetooth. I'm not sure, someone was called Marcus driving this car before. Search my telephone, connected with Bluetooth. It works in a matter of seconds. Really a great system. And now there's also included with the facelift the so-called full link. Then I have to plug in USB port below and plug in, for example, the iPhone, automatically realize it, that's going on. Apple CarPlay, but also works with other phone devices. And that I got my phone mirrored. I can go to my music and go back to the menu again. See, everything is happening right here. I can also check out the normal map I have on my smartphone, that is as well. But the loading time depends on your internet connection then, of course. Or also latest messages and phone, just as you have it on the iPhone. And then if you're going to go back to the car, you can press this on the Seat, and then you get in the car menu again. See, Android Auto, mirror link is also available. And you can always get back here again, then you got the Apple CarPlay screen. If you want to call someone, first Siri appears, and you can try to call someone. Let's go back here and here. Huh?
Nur einen Moment.
Well, Siri is delayed now because of the weird internet connection here in the countryside. But usually Siri would appear, and then I could say like, call my cameraman or something like that. And I would like to stress this beautiful shifting lever with the Cupra logo on it and white contrast stitches. And you can have good shifting ways. No DSG available here, no automatic transmission for that engine. But as this one is a sporty one, you'll get along with that one pretty fine. And to sum up the cockpit, very clean, very sporty. I liked it. You see everything directly at once. The new temperature control here with the facelift, like that's very clear with the bigger display. You can easily control that one. Good height, also control the GPS and stuff, as I've shown you. Here always everything is self-explanatory. The new vent structure has been redesigned and you can access everything very easily. And also I like the instruments, which are very sporty with those wide alignments, and the steering wheel. So it's not something very spectacular, but very clean, and we've seen really a lot of good build quality. They stepped up this game, especially as I've shown you here with the softened up dashboard. Hard plastic is only here, and also at the inside of the doors, and everything button-wise also feels good. So for a small car, we're really on a very high level here. Let's get to the rear, and unfortunately, there's no 5-door version available yet, and no estate of that one, so we stay with a 3-door version, which is not that good to get in the rear. Interesting thing is that the driver's seat does not slide in the front automatically. It's just possible here with the co-driver seat. Then when you flip it here and then just push it to the front, you see it's already also slides. That does not happen with the driver's seat. So here you would use this side here always to get inside, because that is very easy. At the driver's side, it's really hard to get in the car. And I've put the co-driver seat at the same distance as the driver's seat would be, that we have a realistic value when tall people are driving in the front, and well, it doesn't really fit in that way. So I won't fit behind here when the driver's seat is really in place. I would need like this here, this setup here of the seat. Then it would work, and well, a driver could still be on there then, that would work, but it shouldn't be a tall driver. However, for 3 people, because here on the co-driver seat we have more space to go in the front, for 3 taller people that would still work. 4 taller people, we tend to get problems. Head space wise, also I hit the head with my on the ceiling. Well, I could drive a small trip here, but not a very long one. However, what is nice that we also have this Alcantara scheme here in the rear, with Alcantara on the middle and the leatherette on the outside. That's well done and everything again well processed. In the trunk you see you lose a lot of space in the height as the window is very flat. That's the way to open it. And well, it's a small car, so not too much space here. You see we fitted the trolley in here that you can compare it. You can also flip the seats. You have to grab around here or do it from the inside, from the other part, because it's well not that easy as long as the cover here is mounted. Best would be then to demount the cover. Then you can have an easier grab right here and then flip the seats. And well, they don't go too far. You can see it right here, 2/3, 1/3 split. And if you then look below, see there's also not a very flat area. So that is maybe not the best aspect of this car. Let's check out the engine. No hydraulic door members here. And what is interesting, with the Polo, for example, we get a rubber part here to cover that. I'm not sure if it's just missing here or if the Ibiza doesn't receive that. Then we have to put the stick out. Wow, it's getting very hot here. This one here, the new 1.8 liter TSI turbo petrol engine with a nice Cupra cover. I like that. And well, everywhere downsizing, but here, this one here got more displacement, moved from 1.4 to 1.8 liters of displacement. Now with the 192 horsepower, acceleration figure 6.7 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, or 0 to 60 miles an hour. That would be the translation for that. Welcome to our driving experience. You tuned in at the right time. There's a red traffic light at the moment, and I'm in a normal mode, but I can always activate sports mode here at the lower console, and there you can have fun even just jumping from traffic light to traffic light, even of course if it doesn't make too much sense. And I've told you in the beginning, I'm telling you why this one here is faster than the Porsche. Well, of course, inside the city. And there are situations where there may be some narrow gaps and maybe in between 2 vehicles or something, where you're really faster with this car here because it's smaller. Was 0 to 50, of course, doesn't make too much sense because we're getting stuck in the traffic here in the city. But still, it's a lot of fun with this small car here, and it hardly weighs anything, 1,260 kilograms. And so, if you have this 192 horsepower machine, more than 190 horsepower at about 1,200 kilograms of weight, there you see this accounts for a lot of power. And sometimes looking around here when some sports cars are arriving and you really hammer the throttle, you're gone. And everyone thinks, what the hell is happening here? Hey, it's a small car, it's a Seat Ibiza, what's going on here? And people are really astonished that you out-accelerate some of the true sports cars. That's a really funny thing. The acceleration figure is 6.7 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour or 0 to 60 miles an hour for this 1.8 liter of displacement engine with, as I said, 192 horsepower. They topped it up from 1.4 liter as it was before, so more power now, just like in the Polo GTI from Volkswagen. Of course, these two cars here are very much alike in general. You can, however, also just go into the normal mode and just let the car roll, so it's fully capable for the everyday driving. That's a good thing. Of course, the standard suspension is already a little bit rougher than the standard Ibiza, for example. We have tested the standard Ibiza facelift. Check out that review as well. It's linked in the video description if you haven't watched that one so far. So when you're going over some bumps, you do feel it. It's like boop, boop. Even harder when I go to the sport suspension again. Then you really get a very close connection to the road. The dampers really change. But it's good that you can always go back to have a more comfortable ride again. If comfort is the most important to you, then just go for the non-Cupra version of the Ibiza. But other than that, if you drive in normal mode, it's perfectly fine as for the comfort. And already in the city, a very direct, progressive steering wheel, good translation of the steering wheel commands to the road. That's so much fun to drive. And also just some fast lane changes. You're always right there on the spot. It's always fun. And as I said earlier, you can go faster than a Porsche. Sometimes we have just had a situation, for example, where there was some people waiting in the car, and then there was some little spot, and I could go around there and then have the first spot at the traffic light, and the Porsche wouldn't have fit in this gap. And so it was faster with the Seat Ibiza. That's our solution to our small riddle, of course. It was a little bit funny meant of me, of course, as well. And then we are already approaching our part where we give it a little bit more throttle on motorway and on the countryside, because this part will of course be even more about the countryside, to have more fun with the car, to really push the limits. But again, one of the main aspects here is that you can combine city riding with sporty riding with this car. That's no problem. As I said in the interior review, the seats are better suitable for people that are not that tall. So at the moment when I'm on the short ride, it's no problem, but if you have for the longer ride, maybe a couple of hours, then taller people might get problems with those seats. I felt that the seats in the Polo GTI were more suitable for the seat form for taller people, so that might help you. Also in the Skoda Fabia, when that one comes with the RS version, that might be an alternative as well. Everything inside the Volkswagen Corporation of that one. A big difference is the sound between the two modes. This is normal mode, and when I press throttle, well, you get a nice sound, you do, yes, already for such a small car. But if I activate the sport mode here, just listen to that. Really nice. So you wouldn't expect that. It is part artificially, yes, but I mean, who cares? Why not? It really sounds great if you're sitting inside here, and reminds you of a way bigger engine and a way bigger car. And so this accounts here also for this emotional value. The steering wheel with the flattened end is also very well to control, has the right size, and accounts for this very sporty feeling we have here. Also, you have hardly any resistance when shifting, and the ways are very short from gear to gear. So it's also not a problem that we don't have DSG here, the dual clutch transmission, it's not available. I'm usually an automatic gearbox fan, but here I'm quite content with the manual shift. It can be well combined with the sporty ride here, and as it is quite fun to shift around here, that's perfectly fine in here as well. On the long term, I wouldn't stay in sport mode when the road is quite good, as it is right now. It's okay, but as soon as the road is a little bit rougher, it really gets annoying, and then you just go back to the normal mode and enjoy that you have a little bit more comfort. When driving, I also have the speedometer, the big digital figure in the middle, so I always can check speed limits, that I don't get a speeding ticket. Sport mode still, and I will accelerate from 70 to 100 now, going back to the third gear. Let's see, and go. And that's it. Really good. And what is even more interesting, This is here now a motorway part where we cannot go that far, but I've tested it on a motorway where we can really go very fast, and you can even be like in the very high gears, 5th gear, we have got 6th gear here at maximum, even like with 140 kilometers an hour in 6th gear and then accelerate to 160 or 170 is no problem. I wouldn't have expected that from such a rather small engine. That was a really good performance, and even there, everyone on the motorway, that can be dangerous. You're really underestimated, totally. No one is really realizing how much power you have. Again, this small turbo engine gives an incredible performance considering the low displacement figure. We had about 70 dB when driving 50 kilometers an hour, as here, and we check our dB meter. It's at the very right part here, left corner. How much dB we have here when going faster, 100 kilometers an hour, and 78 dB. That's a good result. So basically, those are quite common figures around the Volkswagen Corporation. So for a small car, we have a rather good sound insulation. We have, of course, had better cars, but for this segment here, definitely a good result here. Even in 6th gear, I can still accelerate here on the motorway. Really impressive stuff. Let's go off the motorway to have some more fun. Also nice to shift down with the sport mode. Here in the corner, direct contact to the road. The car feels very agile. 3rd gear again. So, and then, for example, just deactivate the sport mode. 50, maybe set the cruise control that they don't exceed the speed limit, and relax again a little bit. It's getting quite hot in here now, as some sun has come out, and that's no problem with the seat combination here with the microfiber on the inside. You don't sweat on that so much as you would do on real genuine leather seats, and that's again perfect combination, as I've mentioned earlier. Very good when driving the car, of course. The visibility is still good all around here, a little bit limited just to the rear because of those slim rear windows. Other than that, here you can see it right now. When you're driving a small car, especially in Germany, you get bullied a lot. People are just like overtaking you just just before the traffic light, or maybe on the motorway. You got, even if you're going fast, people are overtaking on the right side, which is forbidden, and that's really a pity. It's definitely a German problem because people think, I only have a big dick when I have a big car, but people who are more intelligent than that just think, okay, who cares, whatever, because this car is really very capable, and sometimes you might just speak the same dumb language of those people bullying you, and just let them, behind you, push the throttle, and then you're the winner. That's the good thing about this small racing car, definitely. I always like also to watch at the instruments, which are illuminated in this white style. It looks great and always makes you a little bit more content. Also, when you're changing the temperature that has been rearranged in this facelift, it's easier to control the temperature. You have a bigger screen to check that one out. Also to put the vents higher or lower again. Also very well done. So, especially when driving, I had a hard time finding any major flaws or mistakes with this car. Maybe, when you have the middle armrest in a certain position, a little bit higher up, sometimes it takes to make a little bit of some strange sound, like. But then I just switched the position again here of the middle armrest, and it was fine again. So that was maybe one minor flaw. And again, as a tall person, I don't feel that comfortable on long runs. But if you're a little bit smaller, maybe below 180 in meters, that I guess will be no problem for you at all then. But other than that, really a lot of fun. Here, look again at this agility. direct transportation of the commands to the road. The steering wheel has just the right size. Everything also from the keys at the steering wheels feels high quality. So really has also in riding, well, not directly a premium feeling yet, but it comes close to it. So they've really done a good job here. And if you think about a couple of years back, driving a Seat Ibiza was nothing special at all. And now, especially here with the Cupra, it can be something special to drive a Seat Ibiza. And I think that is one major thing they have achieved right here. So it's getting a little bit curvier here now and also rough on the road. And that makes really a lot of difference when I'm now in a normal driving mode. That's still okay, doesn't hurt my back. But we can switch it again, go to the sport mode, also have some more sound. Wow, maybe heard it as well or see it also on camera. Now with the sport suspension gets really rough, and it was the same. Bam, bam, bam. Same within the Polo GTI, where you had this race button. And it's a major difference to, for example, the Fiesta ST, that is also in this very market here. Because there you just have that one standard suspension and that's it. Here, when I'm annoyed of this, I go back to the normal one and have more comfort again. And if I want to have a little sporty ride, then I go to the sport mode again. Same with the Polo GTI. I think that's one crucial aspect, because most of the time you want to ride more comfortable and not that sporty, definitely. So, but I think also the sound in the normal driving mode is also quite nice, so why not? Visibility to the rear is also quite good, considering that the rear window is very, very flat, but that's no problem when looking back, definitely. So, some more acceleration, sport mode, second gear. Nice. And you've seen maybe, I've turned the steering wheel a little bit sideways on purpose to show you, even if I really hammer throttle. And another day where we had really shitty weather, I was testing it on a wet road, and there was no major slip at the front wheels. And why is that? Now here with the Cupra version, they've introduced to the front wheels differential lock, electronic differential lock. And that one helps you, especially when you have the steering wheel a little bit turned and then accelerate out of the tall corners and it's even wet on the road, to reduce that slip on the front wheels. And with other very powerful front wheel driven cars, it can easily happen that you hit the throttle, accelerate, and then you lose control over the car a little bit and just like steer straight, even if you have your steering wheel like that, because just the front wheels, they lose grip. Here that doesn't happen anymore, and I was really amazed that it even didn't happen when the road was really wet. So they've done a tremendous job here fixing that issue. So you have good control also when accelerating hard. That's maybe one of the best things they have done here with the new facelift. It's always nice with this small little racing machine. So one more, going back to the normal mode when I'm here in the city. So don't want to be that loud, want to enjoy some more of the comfort. And then we go to our very beautiful countryside roads where we can let the car fly just a little bit again. And so you can also do both with the car. Getting you everyday groceries, going in the city, but also having some fun outside the city then. Well, it's not convertible, I would love that. But you know, Volkswagen is preparing some convertibles in the smaller segments. Maybe one day, I don't know. So let's get that going here. Sport mode again. And even if you're in some narrow traffic situations, you always stay calm with the car because it's so small. It fits through every loophole. That can also be a big advantage if you compare it, for example, to bigger sports cars. It's always nice to shift back to second gear and just to let you drop back again and then accelerate again. Nice. It's such a beautiful scenery here. By the way, as for the consumption, of course, this car tends to lead you back to more consumption. Yeah, definitely. Because you want to have some fun, want to hit the throttle quite sometimes. Yeah, it's about 8 liters on 100 kilometers. That's much for a small car, but you can also enjoy it very much. So you have to live with that. That is one of the disadvantages, definitely. Nice. Also at higher speeds here now, when you go some right, left, such a good contract to the road. Really one of the cars where you can get, I would say, a true sports car still for a reasonable price. And now the conclusion. For a Seat Ibiza, the Cupra, stands for Cup Racing, is a very expensive version, doubling the price to be about 24,000 euros, for example, if you take the German prices as a reference. But if you compare it to other sports cars, here you get maximum fun, maximum sportiness for minimum money. A good sound already. Tell me what you thought about the sound here in the comments. And very good handling, great agility and a lot of fun really, already in a car which you can use very well in your everyday city riding, and that is the special thing about it. Now in the facelift with some more displacement, with a very powerful turbo engine for such a small car, and always hit the button to be either sporty or more comfortable. That is maybe one of the best things, and well, I think the main competitor for that one is definitely the Volkswagen Polo GTI. Maybe for a little bit taller people, go for the Polo. If you're not that tall, go for that one, because this one here is more in this dynamic look. This is also one of these unique selling points of the car. And the build quality overall, more than solid. So hardly anything to criticize, but I think we've dig deep in all to the details of the different aspects of the car. I thank you very much for joining in Autogefühl. And I'm quite sure we'll see each other at the next episode here with Thomas and Autogefühl, with small cars, big cars, racing cars, comfortable cars, family cars, every cars, low budget, high budget. You will find your car in Autogefühl, your car to dream about, and of course the car you can really also afford. Maybe it's this one. Tell me in the comments. See you next time.